Join with me today is Dorky Dad, and we're going to talk about Captain Britain. And I just want to start the video off by saying that I've had a day to process this, and this is way worse than I thought it was. And I'm going to say this. We were on a call, and we are not going to talk about what they said in the call. Does that sound right? But
yeah, well, we can't.
We can't. But I could tell you what I was talking about. And you could talk about what you were talking about, because a lot of the things that you and I were talking about were how this is absolutely atrocious to free to play, and also not great for everybody's got all these weird spending things, dolphins, krakens, light spenders. This is not really good for moderate spenders. Heavy spenders probably think this is great. What's your take on this situation in general?
Yeah, so for light spenders, I would consider a light spender somebody who buys the passes, right? That's still $80 a month. There's nothing light about that in the mobile game, but somebody like that is getting affected the most because they do those passes for a competitive advantage, right? People who buy characters always, their free-to-play unlock method for Captain Britain happens automatically for them. This is targeting the very specific light spenders and free-to-play characters to kind of draw a wedge in between them in the competitive sense.
Right. Now, let's just talk about free-to-play first. And so there's going to be these showcase events, and yes, first of all, let's get this out of the way. To unlock Captain Britain, you have to have a 5-star Black Panther Shuri and a 5-star Hank Pym. And that is not super obvious in this post. You got to kind of read into it and understand how the events work. So there's a lot of information that we don't have. Is how easy, how stingy, or how good, or how expensive is it going to be to get those two characters? That is unknown, right? But I'm going to make the assumption, and I think you're going to agree with me, that there's going to be 0% chance free to play. What do you think? What percent chance do you think a free to play player is going to be able to get a 5-star Shuri and Hank?
The only caveat for free to play is if they have a horde of cores. Otherwise, zero free to play. Zero.
Yeah, so this is going to be potentially a core situation. We don't know what the events are going to be like. We don't know how generous or stingy they be. We don't have there's no information on this, right? But I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This is not designed to be easy. Does this even state that they're going to be coreable orbs? I would think they're going to be, but what if they don't even do that?
Very possible, right? They want this character to be exclusive. They are not hiding that fact when they bring up the epic tag and how he's going to be vaulted after that, right? So it's very possible the core orbs don't come. I'd like to think they're still going to come, but who knows?
Yeah, and so the problem that you had, and I'm putting words into your mouth, is that this is the epic tag, and the closest thing that we can describe Captain Britain as far as epic is, in their own words, is going to be Zombie Iron Man and Zombie Juggernaut. Now, those events did provide a path to get those characters unlocked, low star levels on the initial events. And I don't see how this is going to play out. They seem to be rigid on making this paywalled, in some way based off of this post right here. What's your take on the situation?
You got to call BS on that. They're not the same as Zombie Juggernaut and Zombie Iron Man. Those characters were unlocked free to play if you were playing during that time. That is completely different than 100% paywalled. I feel like all they did was shove those two names in there so that they can make it feel like this isn't a completely new radical change, which it is a completely new radical change. Like, I don't associate Captain Britain's unlock at all with those characters, except that I know he's going to be put away and ununlockable for a very long time. That's the only comparison you can make with those two other characters.
Yeah, and so I feel like this affects two things going forward, and I'm going to let you talk about the Crucible effects on this, but I want to talk about the legendary effects and the next legendary. And for the sake of Old Man Logan 2, I don't know what else to call it. You know what I mean? Everybody knows what I mean. Not the next legendary that we don't know anything about. Why don't you talk about the Crucible effects of Captain Britain? It's all about the passive, right? It really is.
Without Captain Britain's passive, Super Skrull gets in there and wins. Superior 6 gets in there. Anybody that has turn speed bar on spawn can get in there, get ahead of the team, and win. So without Captain Britain, it is not the same team. It goes from S tier to like B minus tier. Like, hey, congratulations, you'll have another team that new warriors can't beat. Woo! You know what I mean? So it's a completely different ball game. Without this character, the team does not exist on the same level. It will immediately distinguish the haves and the have-nots. It's going to be like a Mephisto level defense when people put it up there. So if they have it and you don't, good luck. You have to go full glass cannon. You have to somehow find a way to out-efficiency them in every single other fight, and that's your only shot. So it puts you at a gigantic disadvantage, if not completely out of the running.
Okay, so when I initially heard about this, I saw the way that the kit worked, I said, okay, we get the 4 pieces. We've got a 5. I spend the money to get a 5-star Shuri. I spend the money to get a 5-star Hank, and then I get a 3-star Captain Britain. And Captain Britain is a tank, and his stats do matter. In my playtesting, his stats do matter. So he is not a. Well, this part is kit based, but because his purpose on the team is to take damage, and his stats absolutely matter.
Oh, yeah.
But I was looking at it as like, oh, maybe I can just be fine with a 3-star because then I'll get the passive. This is going to be excellent in many situations at a minimum on offense, but most likely amazing on defense, right? I mean, this team will provide amazing offensive strategies, right? I mean, it should, right? But then the reality set in, and I actually quit my stream yesterday when this thought hit me. Is like, what does this look like for the next legendary? Yeah, like because like a lot of people last time around had purchased Black Knight and Cosmic Ghost Rider because they were good characters, but a lot of people did not have Starbrand upgraded enough to be into the higher tiers because so that's garbage too, right? This is garbage stacking on garbage at this point. This is why I was heated yesterday. I turned off my stream. I was just like, oh boy, because this is what's going to happen. I buy a 5-star Shuri, a 5-star Hank, and they're going to give me the privilege and the opportunity to spend an unknown amount of money to get him to 5 stars, which is going to impact my ability to get Old Man Logan 2. And we don't even know if Old Man Logan and Old Man Logan 2, 3, and 4 over the year are going to have anything to do with the next Dark Dimension character, Cerebro. Like, this is just stacking on stacking, right? And it's going to be a no access for a year. I mean, free to play. Like, if it's going to play out like Zombie Juggernaut, no real access for a year because he's an epic. This is trash. This is why you're here, because I would have just screamed for 10 minutes.
No, yeah, it's absolutely garbage. And we don't even know what vaulted means at this point. Zombie Iron Man was available again, like I think 6 months after. Zombie Juggernaut was available 4 months after, but it was passes, and you still had to like pay to get the unlock because of the certain amount of shards if you missed the initial method completely, right? So it is completely garbage. To your point about Starbrand, the other thing that happened with Old Man Logan is there was a second team. We don't know if there's a second team. We don't know anything about the next legendary character. All we know is Old Man Logan came to the game and has wrecked so many different modes. They only make characters better, guys. They don't make worse characters as time progresses. So the next legendary character is going to be how much better, we don't have any of the information that is necessary to make a responsible, intelligent decision for how we want our play style to be. And just the fact that free to play don't get it, like when Morgan Le Fay came and every single legendary character was automatically unlocked from then on, and it seemed like the only true exclusive characters were the Dark Dimension characters, I think that was the healthiest the game has ever been. Yeah. The difference between not having a team and having the team is a difference in games. We're playing different games at that point.
So in summary, free-to-play players are fucked.
Yep.
And then secondly, light spend. I'll just speak for myself. How much Shuri do I have to buy? How much Hank do I have to buy? Okay, let's say I do concede that I'm going to buy them. How much is it going to cost me to get Captain Britain to 5? Do I even take him to 5? If I don't take him to 5, am I screwed on the next legendary? We don't know anything. Yeah. This is garbage.
Is he going to be like named in the Old Man Logan requirements to go to the higher difficulties?
Old Man Logan 2. We're talking about the next one. Yeah, Old Man Logan 2. Yeah.
So will he not only will the Illuminati team need to be 5 stars, is he going to be a mandatory character? Like there's so much we don't know about this, but like you said, we don't know about the price of this guy. He's epic. Maybe he's going to have an epic sale cost on him as well. Like what is going on? Why would they drop this bomb? Hey, by the way, guys, free-to-play players is the first time since Morgan Le Fay, you will just not get the next character that gets released. Yep. Oh, and we're not going to give you any information as to if there's going to be any mitigating factors whatsoever.
And we're going to have to make buying decisions on Shuri and Hank in advance of knowing what the cost is going to be on Captain Britain to go from 3 to 4 to 5 or 6 or whatever you want to do, right? And whether or not that is going to matter. This is not a good situation anyways. That's why you're here, because I just wanted to rant for 10 minutes.
We didn't talk about Red Stars either. We don't know what's going to go on with Captain Britain Red Stars. There's so much that's just not being told to us.
Yeah, so the community has a lot of thoughts and opinion on this, and so this is already 2 videos in a row for me. I'm sure there's going to be a 3rd and a 4th. Like, I don't see this issue going away based on what I'm seeing in the comment sections on YouTube and Reddit, and we're going to go over to your channel and talk about that. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, hey, thanks for having me on, and everyone in the community. Like, the more you talk about it, the more they have to eventually see it. But at the end of the day, I think they have their earmuffs on, but they're seeing how people act and how they react to this change, and this is going to be a big turning point for Marvel Strike Force, in my opinion.
Yep, not great. Bye for now.
Yep.